tell you our secret in a moment. For a variety of reasons, there are 5 cities in the world where people tend to live longer than average. These cities form what are called the blue zone.
At age 95, Maria from a mountain village in Sardinia still tends her goat herd, climbs the terraced hills at dawn, laughs and dances with her grandchildren, and eats her midday meal with the neighbors. And she insists she still has many years to live. What if this was not an anomaly, but a shared secret of entire towns around the world? What if the path to living longer, healthier, more vital lives is already known, hidden in the daily routines of ordinary people in faraway places called blue zones? In the next few minutes, you will journey across continents to uncover the diet and lifestyle secrets of the world's longest living communities, and learn how you can bring those lessons into your own life. A long time ago, in a quiet corner of Sardinia, there was a shepherd named Antonio. He never planned to become famous. He simply walked every morning across ridges, planted vegetables, shared wine with his friends at dusk, and lived with purpose in his small village. Over decades, more of his neighbors joined him in similar habits, and slowly the village became known for being full of people living to ages that astonished visitors. That was the seed of what later explorers would call a blue zone. In the early 2000s, a team of demographers and researchers set out to find places where people lived significantly longer and healthier lives. They discovered 5 main regions that stood out: Sardinia in Italy, Okinawa in Japan, Icaria in Greece, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, and a community in Loma Linda, California. These places share striking similarities in how people eat, move, connect, rest, and live each day. They called these areas blue zones, a name born from the habit of marking longevity hotspots on a map with a blue pen. Over time, they boiled the lessons down to a framework called the Power 9. 9 simple habits that together seem to support health, vitality, and long life. The Power 99 Keys to Longevity. 1. Move naturally the longest. Living people don't necessarily do intense workouts. Instead, they live in settings that push them to move without thinking: gardens to tend, stairs to climb, walkable paths between homes and neighbors, their daily lives in bed motion. In Okinawa, elders weave gardens and walk to nearby markets. In Nicoya, people walk up and down hills and fields. Movement becomes second nature, not a chore. 2. Have purpose. In Okinawa, it is called Ikigai. In Nicoya, they say plan de vida. It means having a reason to get up each morning. People with a clear purpose tend to live up to 7 years longer. Maria from Sardinia once told a visitor, "I wake to tend my garden, to visit my grandchildren, to sing with friends." That sense of meaning permeates daily life. 3. Downshift. Even in these long-lived communities, stress exists. What differs is that they daily practice rituals to relieve stress. In Icaria, people take naps. In Sardinia, they share leisurely gatherings. In Adventist Loma Linda, prayer and meditation are parts of life. 4. 80% rule. In Okinawa, there is a Confucian principle: hara hachibu. Eat until you are 80% full, then stop. That small gap between not hungry and full helps avoid overeating. People often eat their last meal in late afternoon or early evening, and then stop eating completely until the next day. 5. Plant slant. Meals are centered on vegetables, beans, whole grains, nuts, and fruits. Meat is used sparingly, in some zones only a few times per month in small portions. In Icaria, over 75 varieties of wild greens are eaten. Many are considered weeds elsewhere, packed with antioxidants. Olive oil, nuts, beans, legumes, and seasonal produce dominate. 6. Wine. At 5. In many blue zones, except in Adventist communities, people enjoy 1 to 2 glasses of wine daily, often around 5 p.m., shared with friends or family. It's not just the drink, it's the ritual and socializing that matters. 7. Belong. Most centenarians belong to a faith or spiritual community. Regular participation in group worship or community gatherings adds connection, social support, and ritual to life. 8. Loved ones first. Families stay close. Elders live near children or in multi-generational households. Strong relationships and commitment to spouse tend to increase longevity. 9. Right tribe. The social networks of long-lived people support healthy behavior. In Okinawa, there is the moai, groups of lifelong friends who support each other. If your peers make healthy choices, you tend to follow. Together, these 9 habits form a mosaic of daily life that seems far more powerful than any single miracle pill. Yet these principles are simple, accessible, and rooted in human life rather than fancy labs. Diet secrets in depth. At the heart of blue zones is what they eat and what they don't eat. People in blue zones eat 95–100% plant-based in terms of calories. They consume leafy greens like spinach, kale, charred beet, and turnip tops as staples. Beans and legumes like lentils, black beans, fava beans are daily staples, serving as the core protein source. Fruit and whole grains fill out the plate. Nuts and seeds are used in small amounts. Meat is treated as a seasoning, not the centerpiece. In general, average meat serving in these zones is small, often 3 to 4 ounces, and consumed only occasionally, sometimes a few times a month. Fish or lean animal foods may appear occasionally, but the main focus is whole, unprocessed local plant foods. They avoid processed foods, refined sugars, and packaged snacks. Also, they preserve seasonal produce by pickling or drying, so they can enjoy variety year-round. In Icaria, for example, people regularly forage for wild greens and integrate them into meals. These diet patterns, combined with modest caloric intake through the 80% rule, may help reduce chronic diseases and maintain metabolic health. Stories from the zones. Let me take you to Icaria. On this rocky Greek island, researchers found extremely low rates of dementia, heart disease, and cancer among older residents. People there nap, walk, grow vegetables, and enjoy wild greens. They drink herbal teas, coffee, and a modest amount of wine. They savor time with neighbors. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, many live into their 90s. There is a tradition of plan de vida, a life plan. Water is abundant, gardens flourish, the terrain forces walking, family ties are strong, elders are respected. In Loma Linda, California, a community of Seventh-day Adventists integrates plant-based diets, faith, rest, and community support. Their health outcomes beat many American averages. On Sardinia's mountainous Barbegia region, there are more centenarian men than anywhere else. The shepherd life, natural movement, social cohesion, modest diet, and daily rituals create an environment of longevity. These are not perfect utopias. They have hardships, aging, and loss. But they reveal that longevity is not about escaping life. It's about living meaningfully, in connection, with balance and rootedness. How you can bring blue zones into your life. You don't need to move to a Greek island to adopt these habits. Even small changes can have impact. Here are practical steps. Walk more naturally. Use stairs, garden, walk to errands. Don't force gym time. Make movement part of life. Find or refine your purpose. Ask, why do I wake up each day? What gives me meaning? Write it down. Revisit it. Add stress relief rituals. A 10-minute pause, prayer, meditation, naps, breathing, anything to downshift daily. Practice the 80% rule. Eat until you feel about 80% full. Pause, breathe, decide if you need more. Increase plant foods. Center your meals on vegetables, beans, greens. Shift meat to occasional use. Share wine or a drink moderately if your health allows. Use it as part of connection, not consumption. Join a community, religious, social, volunteer, somewhere you feel you belong. Invest in family. Spend time with loved ones, nurture relationships, care for elders and children. Cultivate a supportive social circle. Seek friends whose lifestyle you admire. Over time, these small shifts rewire your habits. You may not live to 120, but you may gain years of healthier life, more energy, less disease, and more joy. A cautionary note: some critics point out that the blue zones concept depends on historical record keeping, and longevity claims may be overestimated in some cases. However, even if the counts are imprecise, the behaviors behind those claims, diet, movement, community, purpose, are strongly supported by modern health research as beneficial. Think of the blue zones not as perfect models, but as powerful case studies. The real value is not chasing a number, but shaping a life that's resilient, engaged, and full of meaning. Closing the circle, let me return to Maria in the Sardinian hills. Her secret was never a pill or a formula. It was daily tending the soil, walking the paths, breaking bread with neighbors, laughing, singing, sleeping, knowing her reason to live, sharing life. Her longevity was woven into her rhythms, her community, her purpose. And that is the underlying message of the blue zones. Longevity is not bought, it is grown. It grows in the soil of relationships, in simple meals, in walking feet, in a heart that beats for something beyond itself. If you weave even a few threads of these habits into your life, you may not just live longer, you may live better. If you enjoyed this journey into the world's longest living places, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss future stories of health, purpose, and well-being. Drop a comment below: which of the Power 9 habits will you try first? Thank you for watching, and may your days be long, healthy, and full of meaning.